Welcome to the March 27th meeting of the Rotary Club of Jamestown. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, singing the national anthem, and repeating the four-way test. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So one of the comments from our survey last week was to get a recording of the national anthem. So I'm gonna give it a try today. Can you see our arms are bleeding blood? What's so brightly bleeding now? At the twilight sunset. From the skies. Not too bad. Let's repeat the four-way test. The things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Our invocation today is by Vicki McGraw.
I was having one of those days today. Spent 45 minutes on hold, not getting anywhere. And I was about ready to throw something. I said to my mom, and now I have to go to Rotary and say the invocation. She said, maybe you need that. So with that, I'd like to say the Serenity Prayer, if I can get through it. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, taking as he did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will. That I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. Amen.
Thank you, Vicki, for that beautiful reminder. Please welcome President-elect Ruth Lundeen to announce our visiting Rotarians and guests.
Thank you so much, John. So today I would like to recognize, where did she go? Melissa Calamari, who's a guest of, Leslie Calamari, who's a guest of Melissa Myers. There they are over there. And Emily Pamon, where's Emily today? Back in the back, hiding with George, thank you. Emily is a prospective member. Glad to see you again. And, oh, I knew I would mess this up. Hang on a second. So, I would like to welcome Randy and Tamarska Herman from Brumalea, Ontario. They are with the Brumalea, Ontario Rotary Club. Randy's been with it for 45 years. Is that right? 35. Okay. Sorry. But, and always do Indians. And they are moving here. And they have bought the Oaks B&B and are going to reopen it. Here's my little dance. That's one of my favorite places, even though the Oaks trees are gone.
Thank you, Ruth. Welcome. So quick announcements. Next week, we'll be reviewing our Rotary survey results in general, led by Ruth, Marion, and Kirk. Thank you. And then Ruth, do you have a district conference announcement?
All right. April 15th and 16th, but especially April 15th, which is a Saturday, is our District 7090 conference. It's an annual conference, but it's exciting this year. First of all, it's the first time in person for 3 years. Secondly, it's going to be on this side of the border, so you don't have to worry about where your passport is. And it's going to be at Niagara County Community College. This is such a wonderful opportunity because it's almost 70 Rotary clubs in our district. And so this is an opportunity to meet other Rotarians, to hear about their projects, their service projects, ask people questions, find out more. And so I really want to encourage new Rotarians to come and learn about what the extent of our district and what we do in the district, and to regular, especially board members, but all Rotarians, to please take this opportunity if you can at all. The council meeting will start in the morning. And then our own Yoa, raise your hand, Yoa. He's going to be in a parade at 10:30, and we should support him. There's going to be a new member induction for new members from all the different Rotaries. And so we would love to, hopefully maybe Emily or Rita Freeborough, a couple of prospective Rotarians will be ready and able to go and be inducted as a part of the whole 7090. That's an opportunity. And then in the afternoon, there's going to be a showcase of service projects. One of the things that was in our survey was a lot of people said we want to see a new impactful service project. And so I encourage people to come and mingle and see what service projects other Rotaries are doing, and to brag on ours, because I think we do some really amazing service projects. Then also in the afternoon, then there's going to be some community service projects you can participate in. And then in the early evening, starting at 5 o'clock, there's going to be a meat raffle. And this is one of the possible fundraisers that we've talked about for our Rotary. So I'm encouraging people to come and experience a meat raffle. So that's the day Saturday. And then Sunday is just a fun day at the River Works in the afternoon. Also, there will be a service project there. But really would love to see, you would learn so much and bring so much back to our club if you are at all able to attend some or all of it. Marion's going, and I think she's planning, we're trying to get a carpool like from 8 o'clock to leaving there at 4 on Saturday. I'm planning to get Yoa there for his, he needs to be there by 10, so I plan to meet at the park and ride maybe 7:15. And I would like to stay for the meat raffle, but anyhow, well, let's get some carpooling going, let's get people there so we can, bring fresh information and fresh, networking and friendships back to our Rotary Club.
Thank you, Ruth. I'd like to invite Leslie to come up and tell us a little bit about the Artscapes banner project.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you to Melissa Myers for inviting me to come to your meeting today to get to tell you a little bit about Artscape Jamestown. This is oh, can you hear me now? Sorry. Thank you, Melissa, for inviting me to come talk about Artscape Jamestown today. My name is Leslie Calamari. I own Chautauqua Art Gallery. We've been in business in Chautauqua County for about 5 years and moved to Main Street in Jamestown about a year ago. Now, right next to Patient's Pharmacy, if you haven't been down there yet. I'm working on the Artscape initiative with the Jamestown Renaissance Corporation, and Frank Bessie's helping there. It is a public art project that we're bringing to Jamestown. It's a juried art show. Artists who are juried into the show have their work displayed on banners on the light posts in Jamestown. And there's also a show of the original art that I'll hold at Chautauqua Art Gallery. And this is our first year doing it, but we'd like to even expand to other, maybe a scavenger hunt and other outdoor activities around the banners once they're up. In addition to the show, there's going to be a brochure made that will be a walking tour of all of the banners, and hopefully some of the other public artwork we can include in there too. We're looking for businesses to help sponsor this program. We've received some really nice grant funding this year to help get the program started. The program that we're basing this off of, that's been very successful in Winchester, Virginia for about 14 years now, uses exclusive business sponsorships to support the program, which is a great way to have a private sector relationship with the public arts in the county. And we are looking for sponsor banners, and it's $100 to sponsor a banner. The business's name gets printed on the banner along with the artist. At the end of the program, the business gets to keep the banner if they would like it. In addition to businesses, we also have sponsorships that are in honor of someone or in memory of someone too, and we would put their name on the banner. What else do I want to tell you about Artscape? The banners, hopefully this year, the banners will be put up on 2nd and 3rd Streets in June, and we would like to keep them up at least through the end of the year, or if they can last until we hopefully do another program next year. As long as we're, banners usually don't get put up that long in Jamestown, so we have to really test the effects of the weather on them in this first year. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for having me here. I left some information at your tables, and I have a couple more packets if anyone would like them. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Sounds like a good project. And now Melissa Myers, would you please tell us a little bit about the books and bibs project we have?
I have pictures.
I'm working on it.
Okay, so everybody can hear me? Okay. We should be getting some pictures up here on the screen in a minute, but I'm going to talk about our club's fundraising. Over here at Lynn and Marion have raffle tickets. So you're probably wondering, what are we selling tickets for? So what we're selling tickets for is a project that we call the Book and Bib Project. The Literacy Committee has come up with this project to help raise the levels of literacy in our community. So the objective is to generate enthusiasm for reading and increase the number of babies who are read to before the age of 5. When babies are read to, connections are formed in their brains that build language, literacy, and social emotional skills at an important time in a young child's development. Fresh has done a community needs assessment and determined there is a primary need to assist teen mothers in the community. The Literacy Committee discussed this and decided to include all the babies born at UPMC in Jamestown, regardless of socioeconomic status. Fresh has an established program where they provide new moms with a bag of helpful items for for their newborn. Marion met with and got permission from UPMC and Crash to tag along with this program. So we are providing, we do have pictures, this bilingual book. I have a little copy of it here. So this is how big the book is that we're going to be handing out. And I don't have a prototype of the bib, but that's basically what it's going to look like. It's going to have the Velcro closure and it's going to say, read to me, Rotary, maybe Rotary Club of Jamestown. So we're still working out the details on that. In addition to the book and the bib, we are partnering with the Prendergast Library, and we're going to provide the moms with an infant library card application. So the bag, we're going to put together a bag with the bib and the application and the book and a letter signed by our club president, congratulations letter signed by our club president and also the president of Fresh. And all these will go to every newborn at UPMC. So you're probably wondering, well, just how many babies are born every year at UPMC? So we contacted the maternity department and approximately 650 babies are born every year at UPMC. So when we do the numbers, we got quotes for 1,300 books and 1,300 bibs for a 2-year supply. So the cost for these is about $9,260 for a 2-year supply. And we have gotten funds secured from Cummins and from Fresh and from RCJCSF, totaling about $3,500. And we also got a district grant that's been confirmed for $2,000 to go towards this project. The district grants are a reimbursement grant. So we need to raise the funds first. Then we'll get confirmation through Rotary International that our project has been officially funded. So we can't really buy anything until we get that official announcement from Rotary International. So this gives us time. This gives us time to raise money because we need just under $6,000 to be able to complete this project. So I'm counting on everybody in the club to help sell these tickets so that we can get this program up and running for the newborns in our community.
Marion and Glenn are working diligently over there now, getting tickets ready and envelopes with every Rotarian's name on it. It'll be much like our fundraiser for the sign last year when we sold tickets. Again, 3 tickets, $60, one for $25. We have 500 tickets to sell. So I think it's a great fundraiser we can get behind, and Good Night Moon is one of the best books out there. So. All right, moving on to new member inductions. Fellow Rotarians, it is my privilege and pleasure today to welcome into membership in our club, Sean Jones and George Harper, whose names were proposed by Chris Anderson. This proposal has been reviewed in accordance with our club's bylaws. I invite Sean and George and their sponsor, Chris, to join me up front, along with Irene Dobies, chair of our membership committee.
I'll stand in the back. Right.
Sean and George, we now proceed to admit you into membership in the Rotary Club of Jamestown, New York, and in the fellowship of 32,000 plus Rotary clubs throughout the world. And in your orientation, you've learned that the ideal of Rotary is service to others, and our principal motto is service above self. The primary objective of our club and all Rotary clubs is to encourage and foster this idea. We are confident you will share in this effort. You've been approved for membership in our club. We believe that you're an outstanding representative of your vocation who subscribes to the ideals of Rotary and is willing to share in translating these ideals into effective action. You've agreed to accept the obligations of membership in this club, to obey our constitution and bylaws, and to be an actively engaged member. You've also learned our specific committees, project, and other aspects of our club's culture during your orientation. We are eager for you to put your gifts and talents to work alongside all your fellow Rotarians. I now have the pleasure of asking Chris Anderson to pin on the Rotary emblem and present you with your membership plaque, which you hope you will display with pride. This is usually the hardest part of Rotary.
Here's your flag, the four-way test. That sounds good.
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Jamestown, New York. We ask our sponsor, Chris, to please share some information that'll help us to get to know our Rotarians better.
Thanks, John, and welcome, George and Sean. Glad to have you here. George, we'll start out with George. George is the former Development and Communications Director at the Roger Tory Peterson Institute. George has been married to Chautauqua County native Jennifer Wolf Harper for 35 years. George also has a PhD in biology and was a tenured professor at Hendrix College in Conway, Arkansas, prior to coming back to Chautauqua County in January of 2021. During his time as a professor, George served as the Associate Director of Hendrix Odyssey Program, which requires Hendrix students to complete 3 projects that teach them more about themselves and the world. Service to the world was one of the 6 areas in which students could do projects and was George's favorite category for advising and mentoring students. I would say a great segue to Rotary. George also served as the chair of the biology department for a couple of years and led the department in development of programs and policies related to inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility. George and Jennifer came back to Chautauqua County to make a difference, especially regarding preserving the environment. In addition to his passion for the natural world, George is also passionate about environmental, racial, and social justice. Welcome to the club, George. Next is Sean. Sean is the Art Grant Open Program Manager at the Mental Health Association of Chautauqua County. Sean is a lifelong resident of Chautauqua County. I think many of us know Sean. His family were the proud owners of Jones Tasty Bakery for over 90 years. I certainly miss that place. Sean was also the proud owner of Jones 212 Bakery and Cafe and Jones Valhalla. I also miss those as well in Jamestown. Over the years, Sean worked at the Arts Council of Chautauqua County, the Richland Civic Center, and the Northwest Ice Arena. Chautauqua County is his home and he has no plans of ever leaving, just plans to improve it. Sean is married to Liz Jones and they have 2 wonderful children. Welcome to the club, Sean.
Welcome, thank you. Please get your tickets ready as we welcome Melissa Myers for today's 50-50.
John, I'm not sure if you can hear us.
I can hear you, Sherry, but I don't hear anything else.
They
That's what
muted
I
the main
figured.
mic, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Rotary Club of
You know what?
Jamestown.
I'll text Ruth. Maybe she'll catch my text.
And nursing homes as a certified activities director and went to Kent State University for a master's in that field. She also owned a doggy daycare, training, grooming, and retail business. She later directed the Chagrin Falls Historical Society and Museum before moving to Western New York, where she worked as the executive director of the Historical Society in Dunkirk. And we were able to take her away from that and bring her to Jamestown. Her fun hobbies include playing bagpipes with the Jamestown 96 Highlanders. She plays the ukulele and other instruments. She trains dogs and is an AKC CGC evaluator and an evaluator for Therapy Dogs International. She speaks in church and works as a healer. She has published historical books and articles related to pets and spiritualism. Therese, unfortunately, I don't have as much about her, but she's a Syracuse University broadcast journalism graduate. She taught at the Bronx campus of the College of New Rochelle
A native of South Africa, she majored in museum studies at the University of Leicester in England. She's worked and volunteered in New York and California. She has had a career in broadcast journalism and documentaries and worked for Court TV. And now she wanted to get back to upstate New York or the Northeast. And so she found her way to Jamestown. So first, Jane's going to speak, and then we'll go into Therese and then follow the questions after that. Jane?
Thank you, Becky. Everyone can hear me? I have a loud mouth anyways. I probably don't need a microphone, but yeah, I have only been in Western New York for going on 5 years now. But I've been familiar with it. I've owned a house in Lilydale since 1990. And my dad was from Buffalo. So we made a lot of treks to Western New York at that time. So at some point in my childhood, I decided eventually I wanted to live in Western New York. So here I am. When I interviewed at the Fenton, one of the questions they asked me, of course, was, why did I want to leave Dunkirk and come to the Fenton? Well, my answer was, I was ready for a new challenge. I never should have said that. Oh my God, the challenges I had from the first day. I started on May 23rd of last year, so I haven't even been there a year yet. The first challenge was the Hall House Research Center needed a new roof. So that got thrown on me. Get the estimates and, you know, let's pull together the money and let's get a new roof on. So I did that. That was my first challenge. Then we had plumbing issues, a leaking roof on the mansion, a furnace, which was new in 2018, went out 4 times this winter. Our ramp to the Hall House has deteriorated so bad that we can no longer use it. So we're looking for funding for that so that we can put a new ramp in, hopefully this summer. And of course, one of our big challenges that all of you have had, recovering from the pandemic. Now, the Fenton was fortunate enough that they were able to keep their staff and pay them during 2020 and of course 2021. They did their programs all online, which was an extreme challenge for them because they really weren't up to date technically, but they got through it. But unfortunately, there was no or very little money coming in. So we had to go into our reserves. So we were running in the red, not a good thing. We also now finally though are back on track financially. We worked really hard this past year and fingers crossed, we're running in the black right now. That's a major challenge to keep that up. When I came on board last year, we were down to only 150 members. Now, for a city like Jamestown, that should not be, and for as large as our facility is. But that's what happened during the pandemic. In 1 year's time, we are now back up there. We have doubled. We're almost at 300. we hope to add another 100 new members this year. That is our goal. Of course, attendance is another thing that we had to build up. People were used to only doing things online and not being able to come in and visit the museum or physically come to programs. So a few things we started so that we could get more people in. The first Tuesday of the month, we have a 50% discount for seniors. We have now a $2 discount for any veteran who can produce their card stating that they were in the United States service. We are also a Blue Star Museum now, which goes through May 20th through Labor Day. That means that any active service member and their families can come to the museum free of admission. Our next big challenge is a new roof for the mansion. You probably have been hearing about that. We were fortunate enough that in an emergency vote, the city council did find some money for us to do some repairs. We don't know how long that repair is going to last, but we do need a new roof. The major repairs, new roof was put on in 1994, and then repairs were made to that in 2006, and we were told that they would last us 10 years. Well, it's way beyond 10 years, and the entire roof now needs to be redone. We have been told by the city that they're worried that it's going to cost us about $2 million to put a new roof on. Yeah, I see the looks on some of your faces. I said the same thing. You've got to be kidding me. Of course, in 1994, the repairs they did were $150,000. So I guess it makes sense. And I think what they're looking at is doing a whole roof tear off. And that's going to include asbestos abatement. Because in 1919, they put over the original tin roof asbestos cement. So that's what we're dealing with. So we're probably going to have to start a capital campaign for the roof. And we do have the city behind us. The city grant writer is going to be working with us. We're hoping to find the money through grants, possibly a bond as well. And if we have to, we'll do piece by piece, if that's the only way we could do it. So just some of the things that, we're dealing with here. But now let's talk about the good things. Enough of that. One of the big things is the Fenton Historical Society of Jamestown, that's our legal name, is celebrating 60 years this year. So we are going to whoop it up with a big gala in July. It's on July 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. The theme is the Roaring 20s. It's going to be right on the Fenton grounds. We're going to have fun things. Sandy's is doing the catering. We have dancing. We will have a speakeasy. We'll have basket raffles and a silent auction. We'll have a dessert table that's going to be set up by Gypsy Moon. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I have brought some information on the table, membership cards, our lecture series, the gala, and a couple of our newsletters, if anyone is interested. But everybody is invited. We hope to have a big crowd there. So keep that in mind. Put it on your calendar, July 29th. Our old brown bag lectures are now called lecture series. And they have sort of morphed into an after lunch lecture series at 1 o'clock and an evening lecture series at 7 p.m. So we have our first lecture series will be Wednesday, April 12th. Norman Carlson is the presenter, and it's going to be about the Sherman Davis murders in Bust-I. And that's kind of a fun thing to learn about. And of course, that was a murder that was never solved. So come and learn all about it. By the way, all of
Can't fucking believe it.
modern technology, you know, it's great when it works, but. Okay. Wednesday, May 10th is a 7 p.m. lecture, and it's presented by Bob Johnston on the Jamestown trolleys. So we hope you'll all attend that and hear what is in store for the Jamestown trolley that Bob Johnston has been restoring. Wednesday, June 14th is a 1 o'clock lecture. And that week, we are celebrating Juneteenth. So on the 14th, our lecture is going to be Underground Railroad in Chautauqua County, presented by Wendy Strait. And then Friday, June 16th at 6 o'clock, we hope you'll all attend. Songs of Slavery and Emancipation. It's a documentary and music presented by Matt Callahan, who did all the research and study and has put the documentary together. Great music. And I recommend that everybody come see this. Wednesday, July 12th, Prohibition in Jamestown. No, really? I've been told we had a lot of speakeasies here. So maybe some of you have some stories about that. Wednesday, August 9th at 1 o'clock, Randy Elf will be presenting Korematsu versus the United States. And our last lecture will be Wednesday, September 13th at 7 p.m., presented by Paul Johnson. Right now, he's keeping the topic a secret. He said it's only between he and I. And I think because there's a new book coming out by him. So we hope that you will join us for at least some of those lectures, if not all. Then, of course, we have coming up our ever popular cemetery tours on October 7th and 14th, mausoleum tours and on October 15th. And because of last year, we had such a waiting list for the carriage tours. I was able to talk Joni Blackman into adding some carriage tours. So we hope that will satisfy everybody. In November, we'll host vendors for our craft fair on November 18th. December will be our Christmas open house and our sensory Santa. And a note about our sensory Santa, last year, we hosted 30 families who were so appreciative of the event. Most of them said it was the first time that their family had ever been able to visit Santa together. And it really was heartwarming. It was just amazing. So this is going to become an annual event at the Fenton. Another positive happening is putting in a Blue Star Memorial Garden on the Fenton grounds. And it is being designed by a master gardener and her apprentice. We will be collaborating with the City Parks and Recreation Department and the Blue Star Mothers. We're looking for funding for that. We're also looking for volunteers who will help put in the garden. But it's going to be really nice, and it's a place where it will be advertised for all veterans, whether they're active or past, to come and relax, be at peace in a garden. We're also planning on using all native plants for the garden as well. Some of you may know that we have the Vets Finding Vets program at the Fenton, and during the pandemic, because of space, we continued to do the canteen, but we did it at one of the local churches. We are back now holding our canteen at the Fenton, and added to that is a therapy dog who comes in now and sees the veterans, and they enjoy it a lot. We also have a scholarship. This will be the second year that we have $1,000 scholarship that is related to Vets Finding Vets. We were closed this past January, much to the dismay of many people who wanted to come in for okay, I'm having a senior moment. The open house, the open doors. And unfortunately, we had so much work to do. We could not do the open doors this year, but we'd love to have you come in and see what we were up to. We redid the first floor. We have new ceilings. They're repaired. The walls are repaired. They're painted. The floor is all shiny. We have a new exhibit space, and it's just great. And that was all done by volunteers. That's one of the best things I have found at the Fenton is we have 70 very dedicated volunteers. And most of you know that we can't run a lot of our businesses and programs, especially nonprofits, without volunteers. Another very good thing, we were fortunate to be able to hire a new curator and education coordinator. Therese Avadillo came in on January 9th. She moved here from California on January 8th. Put her to work, and I immediately piled tons of projects on her. Poor girl. I was expecting her to walk away and head back to California, but she didn't. She's still here. So I'm going to let Therese tell you about what she has been doing and her future plans for the Fenton History Center.
Thanks, Jane. And thank you, Jamestown Rotary, for inviting us here today. I just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure these past few months working here. We have the new programs under Jane's helm. And what I worked on was, oh, sorry, thanks. So yes, we've been working on several projects, mainly to get people back into the museum, having refurbished many areas of it. We have started this exhibition for the Kennedy Free Library that will be going on a quarterly basis. We'll be displaying an exhibit in their library, and under certain themes. The second project that I did was for Lafayette Corners. We collaborated with them on their store exhibit with regards to Jamestown furniture makers. And we do have our own permanent collection in the Fenton History Center, a furniture room with all Jamestown history highlighted and featured. And right now I'm working with several interns who are taking their graduate studies and gaining field experience with us. Also coordinating with our research centers and making sure our archives are up to date, and mainly also our in-house cataloging systems and our software, which we use Past Perfect. And so if any of you, I have met many people who have come in to donate certain things, and I know several are interested. So yes, please contact me on the website, and it's curator@fentonhistory.org. If you wanted to send me a photo of anything you plan or you think would be helpful or would have a place in our Fenton History Center, anything Jamestown related, we want especially local, and especially during the Fenton era, which was the 1860s, Civil War times. And so, yes, please contact me. Right now, what I plan, what we're busy on is our gala for July, the summer. And so we have a 1920s exhibit where there will be artifacts, objects, historical material from that decade, and also featuring the Grand Army of the Republic, who met in the drawing room of our Fenton Mansion. And so we have items from them. And of course, of the Fenton Historical Society, their history and photographs will also be displayed. So please come and join us, and thank you.
Quick announcement. Any questions?
So Marian and I have been working diligently to make sure that everybody that's a Rotarian walks out of here with their 6 fundraising tickets. Has everybody received them? Sharon, Becky? Sharon, yours are over there. Anybody else has not received them? If you have not received them, please come and stop at our little table. And all of those people that are on the Zoom call, you're going to get yours in the mail with a letter. So thank you very much.
You can sell them more than 6 too. That's just a start. So feel free to go back and ask for more. Jane and Therese, thank you so much for coming in today and giving us an update on the Fenton History Center and all the interesting things you're doing there. One of Rotary's major international programs is Eradicate Polio in the World. In honor and thanks for your presentation to our Rotary Club today, we'll make a donation in your name that will vaccinate 4 children who will never experience polio in their life. With that, remember this year's Rotary International theme. Thank you, and we are adjourned.